Okay, let's go a little bit deeper into what's happening on July 19th of this year, because there is a lot. And I realize that, a lot of people are talking about what's happening on this day in terms of the alignment. And we're not talking so much about what that means, why it's significant, what we can really do about it, because I think there's so many things happening in terms of astrology over the past few years and will be happening over the next few years. And it's becoming really popular in the social medias, in the collective consciousness right now. People are talking about Mercury retrogrades on the news and on the radio, and all of these astrological alignments and timings and transits are becoming really popular, really mainstream. But what does it really mean? I think, we're going to get tired of hearing this is a portal, this is an important date, this is an important alignment, pay attention to this, when no one, not everyone is an astrologer, not everyone knows how to interpret these signs and symbols. And so that's what I want to do. I want to help to interpret this a little bit more and to provide more guidance and also some background, because I think that, these portals are not just one major day of significance. Like, they work together, and they have been working together for years, and it is really building on top of each other. And yes, these are moments in time. However, that is what I think is like a culmination and a more complete picture of what's happening that I want to share. So yes, July 19th, 2026 is a very significant date because of this basket alignment that we are seeing. And this basket alignment is between Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, which, by the way, are already sitting in the 4 degrees formation. They're just waiting for Jupiter to move into Leo. Oh, sorry, Jupiter is already in Leo, but to move to that 4th degree of Leo to complete this basket formation. Pluto has been sitting in Aquarius, and that is really a generational shift in our thinking, in our consciousness, in our evolution as humanity, if you want to call it that. It's moving into this very revolutionary, innovative mindset where we are really looking towards, okay, how do we adapt society to be for the collective good? And this is very exciting. It's a 20-year transit that Pluto will be in Aquarius for. And so there's 20 years where we get to change humanity, right? This is only the beginning. I think that's really important to keep in mind. And then as Neptune and Saturn shifted into Aries, that was okay, yes, it's the beginning. This is the spark of creation, of creating this new paradigm, this new idea of what humanity looks like and how that feels. And Neptune is part of this basket, is actually, as I'm recording this, stationing retrograde and holding at 4 degrees Aries. And Neptune is the planet of the collective consciousness, of our dreams, of how we are all connected in spirit. It is the planet of the singularity. If we are the all, and then Neptune kind of harnesses the energy of the all, and it's boundaryless. That's why I think Neptune feels so confusing and brings these illusions, is because there is no separation with Neptune. The veil is completely dissolved. Borders and division is completely dissolved. And in this 3D reality, we're not used to that. So that's why it brings a lot of confusion and illusion and misinterpretation. But with Neptune stationing retrograde, it's really about reflection of this and diving deeper. And it actually is a time when these illusions are actually a little bit more like the, how do I say it? Like the blurriness is cleared a little bit, and we're actually able to see through the illusions more clearly and understand what these visions, what these metaphors are all about, and really trying to show us. So this is like a really powerful transit to be part of this basket. And then we have Uranus, which just moved into Gemini. And in an earlier video, I called that transit the final key in the combination, unlocking this portal, this opportunity for change, for transformation. And Uranus is the planet of disruption, of revolution, of really like looking at things from a unique perspective and flipping the script. And being in Gemini, Gemini is about details and making sure that everything is in order. And it's also the polarity between the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine, and bringing these things together. And also technology and time and logic and a bunch of other things. And so it's interesting that we're having this disruption. And so these two energies between Uranus and Pluto causing a lot of change and transformation in these air signs, which are very spiritual. And then Neptune, which is a very spiritual planet, in this action-oriented sign. And then we'll have Jupiter at 4 degrees Leo, which Jupiter is the planet of expansion and amplification and abundance, and really gets the party going in Leo, which is the fixed fire sign, leadership, the ego. And Leo is ruled by the sun. So like, this is a very energetic and another sign that's about getting things done, right? So we have this air and the fire playing with each other and working together during this basket. And it is a major opportunity, which requires your conscious participation. And that is a phrase that is so important and necessary, I think, for people to hear right now. Because like I said, this isn't energy that's just going to, oh, this portal happened and now the world is different. No, it requires your conscious participation. So what does that mean? Before I get into that, I want to rewind a bit, because like I said, this isn't just one singular moment in time where, a rift is going to open in the sky and all of a sudden things are going to change and humanity is going to see things in a completely different light. No, what this moment is at 4 degrees, which is a Cancer degree, which 4 is foundation, setting the foundation. But I want to go back to the grand conjunction, the great conjunction of 2020 in December 21st, during the winter solstice of 2020. You may or may not remember that there was a great conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter. And this to me felt like the initiation. This was the beginning of all of these changes that we are now experiencing in the collective, because this happened in the sign of Aquarius, which is where Pluto is now sitting, and was really the catalyst of all of these. It was the first outer planet to change into a new sign. And so it feels like that great conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter back in 2020 in Aquarius was kind of like a hint. It was a nod to this future, which is now the present. I hope you're following. I hope this isn't getting too confusing, but that really felt like an initiation to me, because there was so much hype around this date, and we don't see these conjunctions between Saturn and Jupiter too often. And this one was very significant. And and why? I think because really it was setting the stage for what was going to happen with all of these outer planets moving into new signs, into the fire and the air signs, to create this portal, this moment in time where we have this opportunity to really shift our consciousness and to design the future. Okay. And when I say that this takes your conscious participation, I mean, what I mean is you cannot allow yourself to become distracted. Do not let your energy get hijacked. And there are a lot of triggers, there are a lot of emotional disturbances that are happening in the field. If we take a look at the world stage and everything that is being unveiled and all the darkness and chaos and disruption that's happening in the world right now, it's easy to get caught up in that. And it's easy to want to check out, to find distractions, to focus on other things, or to completely disengage. Not my circus, not my monkeys, like that kind of mentality. But knowing that if you're being called to the spiritual revolution, that you have a part to play, and your consciousness and your vibration and your frequency is important, that you are able to hold it at a steady vibration, that you are able to overcome and understand any triggers that are being thrown at you, and to make sure that your energy is as clear and fluid as possible, as you possibly can. And I know that this is really hard, especially with everything that's happening to the collective, but also that's going to be hitting you individually, because all of these transits and all of these alignments that are happening, they have an impact on the collective, but they also have an impact on us individually. And I mean, you can look at your natal chart and you can see, do you have any planets that are around 4 degrees of Leo, Gemini, Aries, or Aquarius, or even Libra, and let's put Libra and Sagittarius in there as well, because that is those are the other two fire and air signs that are really going to be affected by this basket through the aspects. And there's more, like there are a number of different aspects that that can be at play. If you have any planets that are squaring any of these planets in the basket, you're going to also feel that as well. Like, hit me up if you want me to look at your natal chart and see if how this basket is affecting you personally, because there, like I said, there's a lot. Like, there's too many to go into this video, but first thing that you want to look for is conjunctions. And so that's any planets that are near or like within 10 degrees of that 4 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Gemini, and Aries. That's the first thing I would look at, because that's going to show where this basket is affecting you personally on an individual level, and what kind of triggers or impacts that's going to have. And I feel like I'm maybe kind of repeating myself a little bit here, so maybe I'm getting a little bit distracted, because I do have some planets around, and Pluto's doing a lot to me. This Pluto in Aquarius, sitting there in those early degrees of Aquarius, is really impacting my chart. So I'm feeling it too. Like, I truly understand. But where I really think that we need to pay attention to our energy and making sure that our conscious participation is not getting hijacked is, coincidentally, there happens to be a major event unfolding on the world stage on July 19th, and that is the final game of the World Cup. So the World Cup is one of those bread and circus events, in my opinion, keeping humanity distracted. And all of these major events, whether it is, you know, politics, entertainment, sports, any of these kinds of things, I feel are a great moment for energy harvesting, because a lot of people are focused on it. And either through actually being at the live event, or watching it through television or social media, or following it through friends and things like that, a lot of energy is being given freely to these events. And it is prime time to harvest and use that energy to manifest, to take advantage of the portal energy and things like that. So, what I would say is protect your energy, make sure it's clear. Do not allow yourself to get hijacked or harvested during this time. And if that means like you need to disconnect from social media, you need to take a break, you need to really protect yourself, touch grass, get in the water, go on vacation, do that kind of thing, great. Or maybe it's just imagining yourself. Like it doesn't mean that you have to completely take yourself out of these events, or um, celebrations and things like that. But maybe you need to protect yourself, like set your spiritual boundaries, and make sure that you're meditating and staying hydrated and being like nourish yourself with good foods and things like that, to make sure that your energy, your biofield is as clear and impenetrable as you can make it. I think that that's really important. And then to really know yourself. I think looking at your chart and seeing how it's being impacted by these planetary alignments is so important. And also understanding not only what that means for you, but how that is going to impact your energy, and what kind of potential triggers could be coming up that are looking to divert your energy, or distract you and things like that. And take a look at what has happened over the past 6 years. So since we had that major conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter at the end of 2020, and everything that has unfolded in the world stage and in your personal life, for me, has felt like initiation, has really felt like things were unfolding, things were changing, things were coming up in my life in a very clearly defined manner. And maybe I didn't understand it at the time, but now looking back, I can very clearly see how that has unfolded and why. And the same thing on the world stage. I think 2020 shifted our consciousness in a huge way, and people, like, that was kind of the start of the Great Awakening. And I saw a lot of people come together, and communities being built, and consciousness changing, and innovations, all of these things unfolding on a large scale as well. And it is not finished. We are still at the beginning. Like I was saying earlier, we are in a foundational period. And I really think that that's what this portal, what this basket, what this alignment is about right now, is bringing us into this next stage, into this building stage. Over the next 4 years, I think we are going to be completely revising what we want humanity to look like. And now is a real opportunity for us to capture that energy and that opportunity, and to be really clear about what we want and how we fit in that individually, and the kinds of work that needs to be done, because it's not just going to magically happen. It's going to take your conscious participation. So figure out who you are in the spiritual revolution, what you want that to look like, and what you need to do over the next 4 years. Because I personally believe that 2030 is going to be another major point in this story. If we've had the initiation, now we're building the foundation. What is 2030 going to bring? I've been looking deeper into the astrology there. I have some major ideas. There's some, going to be a very critical turning point, and we need to be prepared. So that's really where I feel like we're at right now. We've been initiated, we're in preparation. What do we need to do to prepare? And can we really take advantage of what's being presented to us right now? Because we have a choice to make. And that choice is, are you going to allow yourself to be distracted and led down a path? Or are you going to take control of yourself and your future in order to create the new world? It's up to you. Don't get distracted. Don't allow yourself to get hijacked, and know yourself. If you can have this awareness and see what your triggers are going to be before they happen, then you're going to be unstoppable. And yes, you are still going to get triggered, and things are still going to come up, and we are human. However, it's how you adapt and flow going forward. And I'm going to do a series on shadow work and the shadow. And because I keep saying, it's an inside job, but what does that really mean? What does that really look like? Because I think that that's really important. So stay tuned for that. Let me know your thoughts on this. What are you going to do on July 19th? How are you going to keep yourself and your energy clear and thinking about these themes that are coming up? And what do you need to move forward? If you have questions or thoughts, pop them in the comments. If this resonated with you, please like it. This is a new channel. We're looking to get these messages out. And share, subscribe, do the YouTube things. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I will see you in the next one.